Okay, so if I was going all the way from 25,000 followers back down to zero, and the goal was to gain 20,000 followers and make $100,000 along the way on LinkedIn over the next 6 months, this is exactly what I do. So this is not just coming from me. So we've 38 people inside LinkedIn AI Mastery at the moment. This is a rough outline of what they go through. Um, the results that they're getting after about 4 to 6 weeks are about 500 to 1,000 new followers per fortnight at this point in the first month, and they're booking, more importantly, which is kind of what it's all about, they're booking about 2 to 3 qualified sales calls every week after 4 to 6 weeks. So that's the kind of intermediate goal you can expect to work towards, because everyone who is on LinkedIn. It's like, okay, when you have 20,000 followers, it's gonna be easy. But what do those steps in between look like? So roughly, if you follow this, within 4 to 6 weeks, you'll be booking 2 to 3 to 4 calls per week, qualified with your ideal customer in a way that they're not cold calls, they're easy to close. And then after 6 months, that will scale up exponentially, and you'll be at 20 to, sometimes it's a bit less depending on how much effort you put into it. But I reached over 20,000 in 6 months. So this is the outline of the program. I'm obviously going to be a high-level outline, but let's get into it. So first step is to optimize your profile so that it looks like a landing page. So you've heard this 1,000 times, but what does that mean? In very simple language, as soon as they land on it, as soon as they land on your LinkedIn profile, because what's going to happen is someone's going to see your post on the timeline, then they're going to click on and see what you're about. So the couple of seconds where you have to get your value across and build some expertise is in the banner and in the headline. So use the banner to build credibility and make the person realize that they're in the right place. So that may be mentioning them, it might be mentioning the result that you can help them get, calling them out. It could be a case of, if you've done any talks or anything like that, a picture of you on the stage with something on the screen in front of you that they can relate to, so not just a white screen. If you're selling cold email, it should be talking at a cold email conference. If you're selling Google Ads or whatever it might be, it should be at that. It should be talking about that and obvious. And then as you scroll down, the about me should be about them. Your content should all speak to them. So it's like a landing page, because when they land on it, they're going to scroll down and their questions should be answered by the time they finish scrolling, which will result in them following you and potentially moving further down your funnel by clicking your call to action or whatever that might be. Once you've done that, that's the foundation in place. Then it's about creating content and getting out there. So the first one is write the ultimate case study. So we were going to write a case study that basically, or if you can't do a case study, do an ultimate guide. So it's going to be the 8-step guide to get the results that you get for your clients or your customers, whatever that is. So you want to go into a lot of detail, add videos, add text, break down everything so that they can kind of walk through the journey and almost experience what it's like to work with you without working with you. Give away as much value as you can. If you're selling a service, just give away as much value as possible and explain to them that, because realistically, when a B2B company buys a service, they're buying the expertise, but they're also buying the time. So if you give away the secrets, that will allow you to sell the implementation, because they'll trust that you know what you're talking about, and that's what will separate you. Next is connect with, so this is we're into connections. So there's obviously content and there's all those types of things that you need to do every day, and that's a longer post for a different day. Posting daily content is mandatory. You have to post daily content, speak to your ideal customer, give them solutions to their problems, give them an insight, show them who you are, allow them to understand what your values are, and the work that you can do for them so that they know, like, and trust you. That's the goal. The know and like is done with personal posts. The trust is done with authority posts, where you, again, demonstrate results, demonstrate that you can be trusted, demonstrate who you're working with, put it all out in front of them and repeat this, and over time you build trust through familiarity, and then that turns into sales. Then we're into connecting with competitors and ideal customers. So you want to be connecting with some of the outreach softwares. You can send up to 2,000 or 100 connection requests per day. So I maximize that. I've said in the text, connect with 10 competitors and 10 ideal customers. Put that up to 40, 50 if you can. Connect with as many people as possible automatically from day one alongside your content. So the reason you're connecting with competitors is because this may seem counterintuitive, but they're more likely to engage with your comments, and then that will to provide comments that engage with your posts, and that will end up giving you a lot more exposure and reach faster. Your ideal customers, they probably know you're selling, so the first time they see you, they're not going to go commenting on your posts, so then your posts won't get any traction or less traction. Whereas if you're adding your competitors who are also doing the same thing as you, then you can offer to build a relationship with them, and then you can support each other's growth by commenting on each other's posts. So I have a mindset of abundance towards this. We can all win on LinkedIn. There's more customers than we all need. So we can win more by supporting each other. Adding competitors, commenting under their posts, they'll return the favor. Your reach will then grow exponentially as a result. Then we also, at the same time, in a 50-50 manner, we want to be connecting with our ideal customers. So I've said 10 in the text again, but you can do up to 100 of these per day. I'd advise splitting them 50-50. When you connect with them, share the case study that you wrote in the last piece. So again, that case study should not so much directly sell, it should actually show them what they want to do. So the title of the case study might be how I helped John make 200 grand through LinkedIn last year. That's explicitly the title, but implicitly it says how I can help you get 200K through LinkedIn next year. So that's what they'll be seeing as they're reading it. So frame it with that in mind, but change it to how I, so that it's not being, overtly salesy, because that will just turn people off, especially when you're just dropping it in their DMs. So I would just leave a link. Don't collect any emails at the start for this if you're selling a service specifically. Just get this out as much as possible to build trust and credibility. It might become a lead today, it might become a lead in 3 months, but what you're doing with this is starting that process. And once they're in your network, then you'll start to pop up on their timeline, because LinkedIn will send your post to them more. So then there's the activity we need to do on a day-by-day basis. So it's 50 thoughtful comments per day. You can do 5, you can do 10, you can do 20, you can do 30. If you want to get to 20,000 followers in 6 months, which is pretty fast, a fast growth rate, you need to be doing as many comments a day as possible, engaging with people, trading comments with others to get them commenting on your post, so that you can expand your reach. Because for every one comment, you get 12 impressions. So you can see how exponentially that will grow. So if you leave 10 comments and those get reciprocated, that's you getting a lot of impressions. And then if they like your post, that the people who've seen those comments like your post, then you'll grow exponentially even more. So this is something you can scale up and down. But if the goal is reach 20,000 in 6 months, then you need to do 50 a day. If the goal is less and you're just worried about maybe 10,000 or 5,000 or whatever it might be, you can scale that down based on the amount of time you can put into it. Then there's 30 minutes chatting in the DMs. So this involves reaching out to new qualified followers, watching your followers. You can build a qualified list in Sales Navigator. As people come into that, reach out to them every day, responding to all the comments on your posts, and then changing those, moving those conversations into the DMs. When you move them into the DMs, you've already, they've already given you a reason to talk to them. So move it towards a DM and potentially move it towards a sales conversation, and just spend 30 minutes doing this every day, 15 minutes at the start of every day. When you have a conversation that's with someone qualified, use the star feature on LinkedIn. It's pretty good until you start to have too many leads, and then you need to think about different systems for that. And then, as I've said at the end, post 7 days a week. So you need to post your content consistently every day. The algorithm will reward you for creating engagement, one by going out and leaving thoughtful comments on other people's posts. The other is by posting yourself, so that if you're generating impressions, LinkedIn likes that, because you're giving the people a reason to stay on the platform by creating good content. So they will reward you for that. And this creates a virtuous cycle of growth where you are posting good content to attract more people, and then those people are LinkedIn is rewarding you for attracting those people. So then that encourages you to post more content because you're growing, and you can see the results in impressions, which is pretty satisfying at the start when you start to crack it. Usually I just go 2 personal stories a week, and then 5 posts with tactical tips, case studies, whatever that might be, mixed into that. So that's a really high level outline of what I did and what people inside LinkedIn AI Mastery are doing. As I said, if you implement this, you can expect to be getting 2, 3, 4 qualified sales calls per week within 4 to 6 weeks. You can scale that down or scale that up as needs be. If you scale that up to more comments, you'll obviously get more growth, and if you do more chatting in the DMs, you'll get more calls. So that's the outline. If you want to learn more about LinkedIn AI Mastery, click the link below this. It explains how the program works, how the onboarding works, how we get you set up into the program quickly. We want to get you running on the ground, creating content with this funnel in place in the first week so that you can start to compound that growth. So that's it for today. Thanks for your time.